Hello my friends, welcome to Las Vegas, and before we get into this review, ups and downs of AEW Dynamite, we here at WhatCulture do just want to thank MGM, we want to thank Luxor, because throughout the week we are not only staying in one of the hotels, it's the Pyramid right behind me, but we are doing a bunch of shows live from the Luxor Hotel. You can come do a SmackDown watch along, you can come to Ups and Downs, WrestleMania Part 1 and WrestleMania Part 2. All you have to do is leave the Allegiant Stadium, which is like 10 minutes that way, it's not far at all, walk in there and you'll be able to find us, you can be able to sit down, and it's first come, first serve, and we'll do the live ups and downs there. And so, yeah, we just wanted to shout out very much to them because they've supported us. And that is very, very cool, and it makes us feel warm and fuzzy in our tum-tums. And again, just to give our WrestleMania coverage a little bit more oomph. Also, want to say thank you to Surfshark, who have also supported our WrestleMania coverage, and that's just cool. They've allowed us to be here, and they've all the companies I mentioned allow us to put on these shows. So come down and support us. It would make us feel good. And if no one's there, I'm going to feel sad. You don't want that. Everyone is pumped about WWE, as you should be, but wrestling doesn't stop, and wrestling doesn't die, and I've just watched AEW Dynamite, so Phil and I have walked out here onto the strip, and I'm going to up those downs. Now the coolest thing, I'm going to say it in the easiest way possible, because some people got it wrong, is that now that we have had this episode of Dynamite, it has outlived WCW Nitro, not WCW, as some people said, and I do think it's cool. I don't think it's cool because AEW is better than WCW or WCW is better than WWE. I think it's cool because when WCW went out of business, like I was a WWE guy, but it sucked when WCW went out of business. So now AEW has this platform. It's a pretty big deal. We need more of this, not less, more options for wrestlers to do their things. So I thought that was cool, and it made me feel warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum. You know what? I'm going to give it an up. We haven't even done an introduction. I'm just going to give it an up. Not even in my notes did I give it an up, but I think it's a cool thing. I hope that WWE continues to take over WrestleMania week, and the AEW, they announced a show in Glasgow and Mexico, which is a badass time, and I want to celebrate it as much as possible. Although, as I put here, there was sad news at the start of Dynamite, because we were told the Hook is injured, and he's out for a while. Now, I do believe this tied into a story, well, it did tie into a storyline. My worry is, we don't know for sure, because I don't think anyone's confirmed it. It did look like Hook had thrown up, vomited, on the episode of Dynamite last week before he got thrown into the chair. So I just hope he's all right. Now maybe he had the flu. I mean, sometimes wrestlers do fight when they're sick and it just happens. But health, first and foremost, I hope he's okay as that dude runs. I don't even think he's in gym gear. It's really hot out here. Fair play to that guy. I would not want to do that.
It's WrestleMania week. We are here in Las Vegas, courtesy of Surfshark, who are sponsoring all of our content. And Surfshark's VPN is just fantastic. It makes sure all of your stuff stays private and secure when you're out and about online. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Not only that, but it allows you to change your virtual location to access all your favorite content as well, which means you can watch all of WWE's shows on Netflix, not just Raw, but SmackDown and NXT too. Plus, no ads whatsoever, which means you'd also get to see all the extra content us Brits get to see. Stuff like this.
Can I have an autograph, please?
Your town sucks, kid! Just click the link in the description and use code WhatCultureMania at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN.
We then went into our first semi-final for the women's side of the Owen Hart's Cup bracket, and it was Athena versus Mercedes Mone. Now, I would call that a dream match in terms of the roster that AEW does have. Athena's been killing it at Ring of Honor. I think Mercedes Mone is great. Don't really understand the criticism, although of course you're allowed it. And the coolest thing was the fans all night long at this show. I don't actually know where they were, AEW. They were loud, they were proud, they were pleased to be there, and that really added to the atmosphere. To the point, I think this was an all-time episode of Dynamite, because again, you start off with this match, all the fans like, oh my gosh, holy shit, I can't believe it. They kept throwing each other on the outside of the ring. They abused Barry Barricade, oh, what's going on there? They abused Barry Barricade, which actually got a little bit out of control by the end of the show. But it was that whole thing where I'm going to hit you with a move, or my big move, here's a statement maker, I'm going to go for the O-face. But they kept popping out the ring, so nobody was able to capitalize on it. And the finish, well, it was good and bad, for reasons I'll get to. But essentially, Athena went for the O-face, and the way Mercedes blocked it, I can't even describe it, but she basically did put her hands down or didn't allow her knees to fall. It looked like what you would do if the O-face was a legitimate move, and you did have to reverse it. And it looked like she was going for the statement maker. She did have that on earlier, and Athena was able to get out to it, but instead, she hit the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, surprise roll-up, and she got the 1, 2, 3. Now, I put it here, it is getting a massive up, especially because Toni Storm did come out afterwards, and she looked at Mercedes, and Mercedes looked at her, because that's what wrestlers do when they get super serious. I'm pretty sure when these brackets first got announced, we thought Mercedes would win. But ultimately, you have this huge show all in Texas. I think they've sold like 15,000 tickets. They want to get over 20,000, give people the biggest matches you can, especially, as we are in Vegas, if that's meant to be their WrestleMania. Some people are like, I'll be patient and wait. No, give it to me now. I could die tomorrow, so I would assume it would be title versus title, belt versus belt, unless Mercedes or Tony loses it before that. Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné. All of this is going to get it up. If you have kind of been more than 15 minutes, go and watch it today. The only sad part, I debated about whether to give this a down. I wrote, on show, decide, which is a dumb thing to write. I think, because Toni Storm came out, which I did like, it did mean that after Athena had lost, she kind of just rolled away and we didn't get to see her again. I don't think it diminished her qualities or anything like that. I think AEW could have come up with something, not to protect her so much, because there was the roll-up. It just felt like there should have been something more. She did do the shock face when she kept kicking out of all of her moves, or the O face especially. I am going to give that part down. Just something in me, this little part here, was like, we could do more for Athena. And now she has been on Dynamite. She should feature more on Dynamite. We should plug her in with a program with somebody else, because she's just great. And they just proved that. It was a really good match. You should watch it. Renee Paquette was then talking to Hangman Adam Page about the wild card. And this is when the Elite walked in. And the Elite were all like, listen, Hangman, it doesn't matter that you walked out on us at Blood and Guts last year. If you scratch our back, we can scratch yours. And the world title can come back to the Elite. So essentially, they're still making plays to get there. And they also mentioned that they could fix the Death Riders. And this feels like some emotional manipulation, because it feels like Matthew and Nicholas were also saying to John Moxley and crew, oh, we love you. And then, yes, we had some comedy with Okada, which sends some people into meltdown. It tickles me. But he basically told Hangman, why are you so angry? You should smile. Hangman walked off, so Okada called him a bitch. That's what he does. When he came back and they basically pushed their mouths in the smile position, it made me chuckle. And that's all I can ask from professional wrestling. And I am intrigued to see where this goes. Don't get me wrong, the Death Rider storyline probably should come to an end sooner rather than later, although the main event here, I think, actually teased that. I think adding the Young Bucks into this and maybe doing a Blood and Guts will allow us to continue it for a little bit longer. But I'm with you, it has become a little bit wishy-washy. Totally agree with you there. When we got into the semi-finals of the Men Owen Hart Cup tournament, it was Hangman Adam Page taking on a wild card, and man, I'm just giving this up straight away before we even get into the match. It was Josh Alexander. I love Josh Alexander. I'm going to become Simon Miller, the real person here, as opposed to Simon Miller, the person hosting a show, which makes no sense. I've been lucky and fortunate enough to talk to Josh in my wrestling life, whatever it be. He's a super nice guy. He goes out of his way to help people. He has become a brilliant pro wrestler. Apparently he's been paid a bunch of money, which goes back to the whole WCW, AEW, WWE thing. And they just had such a fantastic match. You should go and watch this too. Make sure you find time in your day to watch most things here. It's very kind of you for walking around. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You could have gone through. It would have been fine. No one else respects us, so why should they? Bless their hearts. But it was just a great back and forth thing. I wouldn't necessarily say there was jeopardy there, because I think we all knew that Josh Alexander was going to lose. And I wasn't even going to give a down for that, because I get it, man, it happens. And there was an after angle with this as well. But the reason I am going to give it a down, the match is getting up, and the post angle gets it up, which I'll get to in 1 second. The down comes to the fact, guess how it ends? That's right, with the most devastating mood in all of sports entertainment. I think we have to start on all shows, not just ones with AEW initials. Reserve these to one a show. Because essentially what all of pro wrestling has done is told you if someone gets rolled up, it's not a real loss. But that's not true. I think Lance Storm said this, bless that guy. It's a perfectly viable wrestling hold, and you can just kind of feel it. I think sometimes, even if someone is debuting and they are going to lose, just hit the finish. Because look, afterwards, and this was cool, the Don Callis family sort of came to the ring. It was Carl Fletcher, I think it was just Carl Fletcher, and it kind of went to attack Hangman at a page, but he got out of the way. Don Callis then whispered something to Josh Alexander, which made me, hey man, I can get you a cool wig. And Josh Alexander then decided to get in that ring. He spikes Hangman Adam Page, and he does walk off with the Don Callis family. And Don recently had been saying, oh man, we're going to get a new member soon. Josh Alexander fitting that role as a heel, and maybe even having another match with Hangman Adam Page. It was good stuff. So I like where he's been positioned in. I think it's going to work out well. Just put Josh Alexander in banger matches, which is a big reason we watch AEW anyway. So yes, for him debuting, one up. For the match itself, another up. But we got to, everyone has to stop relying on that finish. Also, a lot of people on the internet say you can't trust a bald man. Too much with Ricochet, too much with Josh Alexander. Although, hey, if you want to throw me as, put them together, I'll be their manager. I'm bald. We can do it. We can go after the trios titles. That sounds good to me. So that's what we should do. We had a really cool segment, as I find it on here. Nick Wayne's in the back with his mother, and Kip Sabian is basically saying, you know, the patriarchy is a hierarchy. Christian Cage ain't around, so I'm now in charge. I'm the daddy, but he wasn't, because Christian Cage was literally stood just here. So how they didn't know he was there, I don't know. He said, nope, daddy's home. I've still been watching Nick Wayne for our entire month, not massively happy with what he did 4 weeks ago, but been impressed with how he has been controlling himself. He's put him in the best of the Super Juniors. It's his dream to go to New Japan, but also put him in a match with Commander, I think it was, on Collision for the Ring of Honor TV title, and then he slapped him. He's like, listen, man, if you want to be the baddie big boots, you're going to have to bring back championships to the crew. They're obviously going to break up. I'd have to imagine by the time Adam Copeland comes back to TV, we have somehow successfully turned Christian into a babyface, which I don't get, because again, he whacked him around the face, then told his mother, and Kip, you're coming with me. And Nick Wayne was absolutely left as the good guy here, but we can shift it, because Nick Wayne is being a bit of an arrogant Allen too. I just think Christian Cage is a terrific performer. He elevates this group in a way, and I think he's given confidence to everybody involved as well. I think this is going to be good as well. I am giving it an up. And I do think All In it'll be Christian Cage and Adam Copeland, but is that too soon? I don't know. How are we going to, unless Adam Copeland goes heel, which would make no sense because of the FTR thing, I would still enjoy it. Speaking of FTR, we got the footage where they just murdered everybody on Collision, which is one of the best angles of the year, by the way, and you should watch it. And we were told FTR have been suspended, which makes sense in the story. I think that's good, but do not keep them off TV for too long. Keeping them off TV for too long would be a huge error because they've got something with this heel turn, and we should make sure, we should probably be going after the Hurt Syndicate, who also had a match against the Gates of Agony. I love the Gates of Agony. That's not what I'm saying here. They are terrifically talented. I'm going to throw a little bit of a down in there. They did get that win on Collision, but most they've been doing their stuff off Ring of Honor. You know my pet peeve with this. I don't think we should attach those two companies together because unless you're going to show lots of videos, which you also didn't do, I just think we could have made more of this. And because it kind of did come out of nowhere, especially if you're just a Dynamite watcher, although that's not an excuse because you have the opportunity to watch the rest, there was just no jab in here because no one believed the Gates of Agony were going to win. So that part gets it down. Once again though, and in terms of matches, this Dynamite genuinely was an all-timer. We allowed the Gates of Agony to no-sell things and then go crazy. Now this is against Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, who are two jacked up dudes. So that did add some, well, enjoyment to it, and it was entertaining, it was fun, and these four guys can go. They kept going on the outside and using the alley announce table and Barry Barricade to the point of lunacy, to be honest. MVP was on commentary, just laughed at one point, just didn't care. And essentially, who did it come down to? As it Leona, Tio Leona, just kept no-selling things in the best possible way. He didn't see Bobby Lashley coming because he was shouting, he got speared, and then Khan was trying to help, he got running kneed by Shelton. Bobby Lashley comes in with the spear again, 1, 2, 3. It was a really good tag title match, coupled with another great post-match angle, because out comes MJF, and obviously the Hurt Syndicate are getting a little bit annoyed with him because, listen, I'm going to try and win your favor after what MVP had said to him last week. So you have to see it, right? Me saying it's going to make it sound rubbish, but they all played their roles so well, and they did it so tongue-in-cheek, they made it work, because MJF is like, listen, here's a bunch of women, and if you give me 3 thumbs up, you've got to let me in the group. Now, Shelton Benjamin, ironically, was the MVP of this. He was laughing, he was so happy. He then manipulated, but not really, because MJF knew what he was doing, said, well, I need some more time. Maybe you can give me your expensive watch. Where MJF's like, yes, of course I'll give you my watch. And Shelton Benjamin, they were going to do the 3 thumbs up thing again. Shelton Benjamin was going to give it up when Bobby Lashley looked at him. I guess he didn't want to be speared by Bobby Lashley. But the point is, Shelton Benjamin is coming around, and MJF is desperate to get into this group. He said, you know what, have the watch, go and have dates with these women. And it also tied into this backstage promo too, where Shelton Benjamin, man, he's so funny. He's so desperate to go out partying. MVP is trying to give the big talk to Bobby Lashley, saying, listen, man, we can bring him in, and as soon as he does step out of line, we'll just kick him out of the group again. And I think Shelton's almost childlike nature, or the excitement, is also winning Bobby Lashley over as well. It was just funny, right? And it worked, and they played it the right way. It's another thing you have to go and watch to really see it. Well, yeah, just play it in the way that you'd want it to. So that combined with the match gets an up. I still really want some more tag teams to be built up. I feel like the tag team division across all of, well, Western wrestling at the moment isn't where it needs to be. Although that's Fraxium are awesome. So maybe Fraxium are the best. But there's more we can do here. But the Hurt Syndicate are great. Excuse me. MJF is awesome. And we're taking our time with this storyline. And it's a bunch of fun. When, I'm not even going to get into this match much. It was the other semi-final for the Owen Hart Cup. Takeshita versus Will Ospreay. If some random person came up right now and said, Simon, do you think this is the best television Dynamite match we've ever had? I think the answer is probably yes. There was one sequence when they were on the top rope and they kind of did this flippy thing and it led into a hidden blade. It was amazing. It led into a Stars Clash. Then they were doing 1 ooh kick out. So not 1, 2 ooh, just 1 ooh and he was kicking out. They did it like 3 times in a row, but the fans popped bigger each and every time. So it must have worked. I don't understand the athleticism. I don't understand how they came up with this. The counters, the reversals, the you go, I go, we all go. It was tremendous, it was amazing. And I understand some people don't like this style of match. You don't have to like it. But if you can't respect it or see the sheer talent they have, then we can never be friends, which I'm sure you don't care about, but I'm just letting you know, It was terrific. It ended with, I think Takeshita at one point did kick out the Hidden Blade. And this is the other thing I like about Will Ospreay having 47,622 moves to win a match. He then hit the Stormbreak and got the 3. The near fall off the Stars Clash, and some of the stuff Takeshita did. Some of his boots to the face and his, I think he did the Avalanche Falcon or whatever. It was just awesome. It really, really, really was. If you're into this style of matchup and you haven't seen it yet, and for some reason I've accidentally loaded my camera up to get rid of my notes, if for some reason you wait for my stupid reviews until you make this decision, that is not where I wanted to go. I have closed my notes down. Just go and watch it. It's not just getting it up, it's getting a golden up. I sat there in my Luxor hotel room, thank you very much. Oh, it's Phil, who are we sponsored by as well? I forgot to say that. Surfshark, right? Surfshark. Well, I had that in the beginning, but I've thrown it in now to give another one. But it's just brilliant. And it's modern day pro wrestling done as good as you possibly can do. And I think it will help the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Because if this is the kind of match you're going to do in the flipping thing, more people are going to be impressed by it. Again, golden up. It was so good. I may go watch it again because I'm a massive nerd. Especially because on the West Coast it has a repeat showing. I don't know. Just brilliant. Go and watch it. It was excellent. Again, this is why I think this Dynamite's a proper all-timer as well. We got to the main event. It was for the trios titles. John Moxley was taking the place of Pac, who was injured. I hope he's okay. He's had a terrible run recently. Not fair. But given that Hook was out, it was like, well, who's going to join Shibata and Samoa Joe and the Ops? And it was Powerhouse Hobbs. That was smart too, because he could also play the role of a big guy, I'm going to destroy you. Willow Nightingale came out and stopped John Moxley using a chair, which tied back to the intergender match. Marina Shafir was then smacking people with chairs, because that's what she does. Did anybody else come out? No, I can't know, but the pop for Willow was absolutely brilliant. But they just kept teasing it either way. And John Moxley here was especially good, because he was going to get choked out, which people have wanted for a while. But there were so many occasions where it looked like, oh, he's going to get Joe. Joe's going to get him. Oh, no, Joe's, Claudio's doing his thing. Willie Uter is just there to have his ass whipped, but it does work. But Shibata was choking people. Powerhouse Hobbs was throwing people around. And at the end, John Moxley's like, I'm going to hit the Death Rider. I've got this one. There've been a bunch of shenanigans when Samoa Joe wiggles and jiggles and he gets out the way and he locks in the Coquina Clutch. And the noise that this place made when they realized, oh my gosh, he's going to beat John. Because we're all smart fans deep down. I think we get it. And if he does pin the world champion on a television show, excuse me, or at a pay-per-view soon, because I think the next one is May, which isn't that far away. Samoa Joe versus John Moxley for the AEW World title. If you build that right, you can probably convince me that he's going to win it. I don't think he will, but I'll allow my brain to buy it. Anyway, he passes out. Brand new Trios Championship. The team of Samoa Joe, Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs. Shibata and Samoa Joe hugged at one point while celebrating their Trios belts, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. But I think the cherry on top or whatever, the secret sauce, was a lot of baby faces came out. Swerve was there. Oh, Swerve got involved in this as well. I totally forgot about that because who the hell did... missed out a massive part. The Young Bucks came out because they were going to help the Death Riders because they're lying ladies. But yeah, Swerve Stop was in the crowd. He double stopped them from Barry Barricade, and that's how he got to the finish. So we probably are building to blood and guts here. But Will Ospreay was definitely there. Swerve was there. I think I saw Speedball Mike Bailey, and they're celebrating the fact that somebody has finally taken something from the Death Riders. And it works. They got a massive pop, and it was a sustained cheer as well. So you can argue it both ways. I just saw The Rock on that Mandalay baseline, terrifying. It's gone now. NXT's up there instead. But maybe the crowd are buying it more than we let into, although I do think we are coming to the end of this. But it's also going to get an up. Having a title change on this show really just threw the secret sauce on it. And even though I've had a couple or a few sort of small downs, they're not a big thing, they're just my pet peeves. Overall, I think the show has to get a golden up. Every single match was brilliant. We didn't do much backstage stuff, but what we did do, I think, is hinting at the future. I do like the Elite stuff, because Hangman and Page and those guys just have good chemistry, but yes, we do need to tread carefully here. Still a bit worried that Hangman, Adam Page and Swerve Strickland will be on the same team. It was a real good, and I think AEW decided, given the occasion, having more episodes of Nitro, we've got to make sure we live up to our billing of the brand new WCW, or whatever the flub you want to call them. So, given I was sat very jet lagged in my hotel room, this woke me up. It was brilliant. If you only have 15 minutes and you can't watch the whole show, it's Will Ospreay versus Takeshita. You have to go and see. So he's in the final, I do believe. But Hangman's, maybe it wasn't I can't remember, but I think Will Ospreay is going to win that. And I think Will Ospreay will probably win it all in, would be my guess. And then why the hell not? Then it would justify keeping the belt on John Moxley, because Tony Khan's got a plan, and we're going to get there. Right, feels like I need to rest my voice. That's what I'm going to do. But like the video, share the video, subscribe, leave a comment below. Join us for all our WrestleMania coverage. And shout out to Surf Shack, that's right. Surf Shack? Surf Shark, whatever, same thing. You typed it into Google, it would correct you, so you know what you're doing. We're now probably going to re-record the intro, because I didn't say it then. But enjoy all our WrestleMania coverage. We appreciate you. Come on down to all the live shows after Raw, SmackDown, and WrestleMania, of course. I appreciate you, my friends, and I'll see you then.